all intended purposes, the Seattle Sounders practice and their prep for the Portland Timber is done. I'm Osvita Mariere. So glad to have Owen Murray of Area Sports joining us and you. So, Owen, you saw practice, you followed the team. What's the Sounders have to do after having tied and won a game?
So what's really interesting here is the reason they tied and won those games is because they made rotational changes. Raul was out. We saw guys like Josh Atencio and Reed Baker-Whiting start in that game against Austin. The real question is whether they keep those changes for this match against Portland. That's what worked, but do they go back to their sturdy, trusted team?
But they also give me the
I think just having a similar performance to, both games. I think we showed when we work as a team, both collectively, defensively and offensively, that it looks a lot better than it has in the previous few games. So I think we just got to continue to do that. Obviously, a big rivalry match, a game at home. We know that we need the 3 points, so it'll be an important one.
Now, was the rotation a planned rotation, right?
Yes, absolutely, yeah.
So if it's that, it's a great question, right? But what do you feel is the best lineup here without going through all the 11? Who do you feel is the strongest lineup against the Timbers, two teams that are going to be counterattacking?
I think you obviously have to have some of those experienced players in there. Jordan up top was interesting, but Raul up there has been really, really successful against the Timbers, so I really think he might come back in. He's fit and ready for Schmetzer. Josh Atencio was very, very good. I think that's one guy you might see start. And then it's really a question of whether Alex or Reed is their right back.
Okay. You say Josh Atencio. It's interesting. I say Owen Vargas, but I think we're kind of saying the same thing, that you do need some energy and pace in the midfield for a game like this.
No, absolutely. I just think what you saw from Josh Atencio, especially down that right side, the partnership he had with Reed was what really makes me think he might start in this game. We know these Seattle-Portland games have a lot of counter-attacking. Neither team really wants to expose themselves, especially at home. The Sounders kind of want to make sure they don't be
Okay, so it's going to be real critical here, like you're saying, the energy, because it's a counter-attacking game, but at some point you have to absorb that. So what do you need to do in the first 18 minutes if you are the Sounders?
Yeah, you saw them do it against Monterey, who, a team that's stronger than them. They really came out in those first minutes. They capitalized on set pieces and they capitalized on counter-attacking, which, getting those chances early, that's something that happened in the Austin game too. Jordan Morris, there was this sequence they had these crosses coming in and across like 3 or 4 times. Those kinds of chances are what really puts pressure on Portland and pins them back and make sure guys like Emi Chara and all their attackers can't go forward.
Fantastic. Okay, I really did all of that, right? The Sounders have to play good counter-attacking. They have to absorb some of the pressure, and they have to score and capitalize on their chances, correct?
Absolutely, but then it's really critical that they lock it down, right? We know that, we've seen them score and then give up goals really quickly after in these last 2 games against Minnesota and against Austin. That game against Monterey too, they went 2-0 up, ended up losing. So my question for you is, how do they kind of lock it down after they get that goal?
Great question. I think what you have to do, something the Sounders have to learn to do, you as a soccer player and all you people know, that's possession. We've talked with Brian about this, and it's possession in the midfield. You're going from left to right, move the defense around, right? You're not stalling, but a little bit of possession. Get the other team having to run quite a bit. They get tired legs, and then you hit them again with the counterattack.
So I guess then if you're going to maybe make a change at halftime or 60th minute, who's that player that you bring in to have possessional advantage?
Now, it depends whether you start Leo Chu or not, right? So I think if you're going to go that way, I would go back with the youngsters, kind of what we talked about, right? I like the kid. I just still can't get over the fact that Owen Vargas is like 19 years old, 17. But I think what you need is anybody that can give you possession. Vargas, Atencio, all those can give you a little bit. What they create is not so much the possession of the ball, but in terms of they move and create space so that when João Paulo has the ball, or if Alex doesn't start, to your point, you bring him in. All right, so there you go. Fantastic stuff, Owen. We'll have to maybe we'll see if we can get you after the game. But he's Owen Murray of Area Sports. I'm Osvita Murray of CascadiaSports.net. Thank you all for watching and listening.